Now we'll turn to the second kind of argument that we had. That is the argument most college students are high school graduates. Jim is a college student, therefore Jim is a high school graduate. And let's try to describe this connection between the premises and the conclusion in this argument. And we say it's not it's not a guarantee like that last one. That is, it's if you have premises like that, the conclusion is a pretty good bet, but there's still a possibility that it could be wrong. So you would say is the way you describe it is that those kinds of premises make that conclusion probable. So it's a probable inference, but it's not conclusive like the last one. And the premises make the conclusion reasonable, but don't guarantee its truth. In the last kind, they guaranteed its truth. And that's the difference between a deductive argument and an inductive argument. This is an inductive argument. In an inductive argument, the conclusion is made probable by the premises, but it doesn't guarantee its truth. That doesn't mean that an inductive argument is a bad deductive argument. There are a lot of very good inductive arguments. In fact, we probably find in life that most of the things that we come to believe based on having reasons, based on having arguments, are really inductive. Follow inductive reasoning, inductive logic. So there's actually a special branch of logic, inductive logic, that deals with inductive arguments. And they're both good kinds of arguments, but obviously the deductive ones are, you might say, there's a much stronger connection between the premises and the conclusion, but that doesn't mean that there isn't a good, in inductive arguments, there isn't a good connection. In fact, there is a good connection. When you look at this argument, if most college students are high school graduates, and that actually is true, and let's say Jim is a guy, here on campus who's a college student, it's probable to believe that Jim is a high school graduate. I mean, it could be that he didn't graduate from high school. He could have gotten a graduate equivalency diploma, a GED, or Jim could be a very smart young fellow who's bored in high school, kind of dropped out and managed to wiggle his way in to take a course here in college. So there's a possibility that that conclusion is false, but the reasonable thing to believe, without any evidence to the contrary, just with the evidence of those two premises, is that what's reasonable to believe, what's probable, is that Jim is a high school graduate. So it's an inductive argument, and a good inductive argument at that.